Alright, welcome everybody to a Christmas special at a request for doing one of the Advent of Code exercises. So I'm going to live stream me doing it. All I've done so far is I've read over the directions and looked at the input file, but I've not coded anything yet. So let me get onto the server. First thing I'm going to do is open up the input file. I'm just going to copy everything from here over into here, set paste on. Is a dim command to make pasting better? I don't know if it mattered here. Let's see. Very bottom of the file is 247. Bottom of the file is 247. Top of the file is BLS. Top of the file is BLS. Okay, so copied over fine. I don't need you anymore. The Advent of Code 2022 Day 5 is involving moving cranes. And so the student had a question about how to do the input on this. Before we do that, though, let me just tell you what is going on here. Basically, it gives you a starting set of crates, and then it moves one crate at a time from one pile to another. It'll say like move 3, but it actually doesn't pick up 3. It will move 1 and then 2 and then 3, which will flip the crates upside down. So if you move 3 from here, let's see, both crates are moved from stack 2 to stack 1. So C and M, let's see here, D and Z, it flips to Z and D. All right, so you have D and Z here. If you move 3 crates, then it goes D first, then N, then Z. And so you say move 3 crates from 1 to 3. Move 3 crates from 1 to 3. And so basically this is pretty solvable using a stack, and in C++ we don't really use the stack class. There is actually a stack class in C++, and it's kind of dumb. Like, I don't ever really use it. There's probably somebody who's like, oh, it's my favorite class, but it's dumb because, like, if you want to like print out what your stack is, like to debug things, you can't do it. It's just a vector, but worse. So we're gonna be using a vector for it. Vectors are pretty easy data structure anyway. So basically, you get a starting set of crates, you get a set of moves, and then you print. I think it's the top crate. They'll just need to know which crate will end up on the top of each stack. C, M, Z. So you type in C, M, Z. Okay. So that's the assignment. And so let me just pull up the code, and we can start getting to it. Let's see here. Each crate is 3 characters, and then there is 1 space. So it's going to be 4 characters. And let's see if there's a space at the end here. Probably a new line character. Okay. So we can probably do these in sets of 4 characters at a time. These are all spaces, I think. Set list. Yeah, there's no tabs in here or anything like that. So we just grab 4 characters at a time. It's kind of it's kind of annoying that they have it set up this way, which is why I can see why my student asked, how would I do this? Yeah, I mean, I guess we can just grab 4 characters at a time. So let me snap this over here and do session. I can kind of take a look at that as I'm working on it. It's a little bit wider over here. Okay, so vim main.cc. And so, as usual, we will start off by opening the file. I have stream ends, and the file is just called input. And I like to specify the path name, including the directory, just so that I make sure I'm typing it right, because the Commander of Completion plugin that I use will file name complete, as you saw it. So I don't need to have the /. It's just kind of a habit of mine. I sometimes do it, I sometimes don't. Okay. Vector and algorithm. Are we going to be using read.h? Probably not. We can do this just with the standard library. Yeah, I'll keep it around. I might use it for the second part down there. Okay. So if not ends, just quit. It's not going to not be there. So I'm not doing my full error checking business because this is a one-off. So I'm usually a lot lazier on one-off things than when I'm actually coding things for real. Okay, so we're going to need a loop here. Okay, so it's going to be 9 sets of 4 characters. The 4th character here is going to be the new line. So we're going to read 36 characters per line. We can get line it, or we can just read a character at a time. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rows. So we're going to have 8 rows and 9 columns of 4 characters each. Write that down. And rows is equal to 8. Columns is equal to 9. And char is equal to 4. And I'll make this a const expr. Why not? Or I can make it const. Because these are constant expressions. It means the same thing in this context. It will compile the same. It means the same thing. Okay, so let's just do a for loop here. We'll probably store this into, what are we going to have? We're probably going to have like 9 different vectors of characters. Like we're going to have, what we want is we're going to be reading from it row at a time. What we really want is to like kind of pack these things into 9 different vectors. And each vector is going to hold how many crates are on that column. Could read everything into a 2D array and then pull the things out of that into the 9 vectors, or I could reverse it later. Makes that big a difference. Yeah. Yeah, probably just do it directly. Okay, so we'll make a vector. Vectors of characters, named vec as always, and it's going to have 8 rows, and it will have, each row will be a vector of characters of size columns times characters. Nah, we'll skip the characters. So this is going to make a 8x9 vector, and I don't know if I like that. Maybe we can start this way and we can pop off, because what we're going to have is we're going to have entries for like the blanks here, and we can just pop those off later, I guess, if we want. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, it'll work for now. We'll just read it in and then clean it up later. I guess that'll work. Okay, so rent I equals 0. I is less than rows. I plus plus, standard for loop. And then whenever you do a copy and paste, always make sure you scan through it. If you leave any of these things like untouched, then all hell will break loose. You'll go into an infinite loop. Gates of hell open. Yeah, it's just bad. And then you gotta change that too. You gotta change it. Everything. All right. So for every row, for every column, and we're gonna be. And then we'll do one more for loop, and this is going to be, again, scan k, and then this will be chars, and this will be k. Scan everything. Trust me, a lot of experience, copy-paste errors are like one of the most common sources of errors. Okay, so we're going to read 8 rows, 9 columns, and each column is going to have 4 characters associated with it. The first column is open bracket R, close bracket space. The last column has open bracket T, close bracket new line. So, what I'll probably just do is just see out everything, just like print it all out, make sure we're actually going to get the stuff and see if that works. Okay, so we'll just see out ins.get. Let's try that. Okay. Aha. Okay, so character. And there we go. So new programmers would be very confused by what's going on here. 32, 32, 32, 32, et cetera, et cetera. So 32 is the space character. So This is just one of those places where having a little bit of experience in what's going on helps, right? And so I looked at that and went, oh, I'm getting the ASCII characters, right? And so ins.get doesn't actually return a character, even though it returns a character. So what I did here is I casted it to a character. If I wanted to be more proper-like, I could static cast to a char this thing, and this is proper C++ now, and it behaves exactly the same way. It's just extra typing for no benefit, but don't tell Bjorn that. Okay. We get a disapproving look. Okay, so yeah, this is the official C++ way of casting an integer to a character. Using just char though. Just a little C++ lesson here. This is a C-style cast, and you can also do it like this. Recommended. So the recommended method is to use this long monstrosity of a function. It's not that long, but it's like kind of aggravating. My inclination was to do that because it's less typing. Same amount of typing as this one. But this one, you have to track your open and close parentheses. So I'm just going to do it the bad way. No, I can feel the disapproval. I've already typed it. We'll just keep the good way. Okay. So where was I? Okay, we're getting the thing. Let's see if the thing is right. Looks good to me. We're getting all our characters, and we're not reading this line. Good. So I think we're good to go on that front. So now what do we do? The second character is going to be the actual thing, right? So it's, yeah. I actually don't want it in rows. I actually want there to be, yeah, I can actually get by without reading into the scratch vector. Okay, I'm actually going to change my mind here. So I'm going to make it 9 vectors, and each vector has, I'm just going to make it empty, actually. Just going to make 9 vectors holding the stack of crates. And this is something that I'll do sometimes. Like I'll have an idea of when I'm going in, and then I realize I don't actually need all that extra work. Because what I'm going to do here is if k is equal to 1. So we're going to be reading 4 characters at a time, right? And so the first one is 0, because in C++ we count from 0. The second character is 1. That's our actual letter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print out the letter, and then hopefully we'll get a more condensed view of things here. And if it's not K1, I'm going to print out a space instead. So I'm hopefully going to print out the exact same thing we have here, just with all the brackets gone. So if we're on 1, which should be the letter, then we will print it out. Otherwise, we're going to see out a space. And at the end of the row, now we'll output it in line because I'm not printing out the new lines anymore. So do that. Okay. What happened here? Print it out. So what are we getting here? Oh, because we're only doing the get now. So let's. I was combining the C out and the get all at the same time. So we will say char C is equal to. We don't technically need the static cast anymore, but whatever. We'll make it not. Complain at us. There we go. The trouble is I was printing it and reading it in the same line. But now I'm going to do that on 2 different lines, and there we go. Sweet. Okay. We're getting everything correct. All the brackets are gone. So now I don't need to do anything with you anymore. And you don't need to be printed anymore. All I need to do is put them into the vector. So I'm going to say vector dot at j. That's the column we're on. Dot pushback c. Okay. And then I don't need to see anything. And then this is going to put in everything upside down because I'm going to be push back, push back, push back, push back, push back. I can use a deck, but I'll just reverse it. Whatever, small enough. I will accept the disapproving look of people. All right, so yep. So let's make a little function to print our vectors in a stack. Void print stacks. Always good. Print stack. Print stacks. Const vector of char. Yeah, I could use auto here, but whatever. And vec. And so I'm going to say for every const auto ampersand row. So for every row in the vector, what do I want to do here? Do I paste? So for every character in the row, so for every, we're going to go down each row. No. This is each column actually. We're gonna print out sideways now. So before we were reading it in vertically, but we're gonna turn it sideways. So we're gonna print out stack 1, and it's gonna print out HCR, except it's gonna be backwards. It's gonna print out stack 2, and so we're gonna be printing it out in rows now, I guess. Okay, we'll see out C, and then after the row or the column is done, see out, and we go here. So after we read all the data in, we will call print stacks on vec, and just use this to verify that it's working right. So here we go. So we got RCH. So you can see all the blanks are up top, and then it's coming out basically backwards. What we want actually is H in the 0 spot, C in the 1 spot, R in the last spot. So we also have a lot of blanks in here, but I left those in because it makes everything line up nicely. C and H are next to each other, B and T, and also because I forgot that too. So K is 1, and C is not equal to space, then we'll add it. So now it'll be like that. And so we got RCH, right? RCH, but we want the bottom element to be H, right? Because we want the very bottom of it, because we're going to be messing with things on the top, not off the bottom. So we just need to reverse everything. So we want it to be H in the 0 slot, C in the 1 slot, and R in the 2 slot. And we can do that by just reversing everything. So just do this. For every column in the vector, but this is not going to be constant anymore, we're going to call a reverse on the column. And do we have ranges included? No. Ranges is a new C++ 20 thing. Normally I just use column.begin, column.end, but I kind of want to show this to you. Ranges stood ranges reverse, and okay. There we go. No, it doesn't like it. Okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Right. So there's already a reverse. Okay, so that'll be fine. So we'll do ranges reverse. I don't know if that actually saves us typing. The pre-C++ 20-way doing that would be reverse column dot begin, column dot end. Yeah, okay, still less typing. Neat. Okay, so we're going to reverse each of the stacks, and then our IO is good. So where we had RCH before, we have HCR now. BGH, BJH. Okay, so what we've done is we've taken the input here, taken this input, and basically made the first vector have H in the first slot, which is index 0, C in the first slot, and second slot, index 1, R in the index 2 slot, B in the first slot, index 0, JH. And so I basically put all these things. IO phase is almost done. We need to throw this line away. I don't think it buys us anything. And then we got a blank line. So we need to just do 2 get lines. Get line reads an entire line from the input. And I think we've eaten that new line. So we should be just good to go. One of the tricks you have to worry about with C++ is that getLine reads until the first new line character. Fortunately, we've eaten this new line that I have highlighted here. So the getLine is going to read all of that. If I hadn't eaten that new line character, the getLine would return an empty string because it would just return that new line. And that's a very, very common mistake that new programmers make. And it's understandable because it's not very intuitive. So getLine will read that. We'll do another getLine and read that. Just to verify, there's just one new line. All right, making sure there's not any weirdness going on. Okay, and then we'll get to here. All right, so I don't need to print the stacks anymore. GetLine from ends and getLine from ends. Are you mad at me? All right, yes. Okay, fine. String temp. There we go. And then, just for the hell of it, I'm just going to print them out. Just to make sure that those are the lines in them. But I think they're good. Okay. So you can see we're getting that line, and then we're getting the blank line. Cool. Now we're good to go into phase 2. Okay, so phase 1's complete. All right. Phase 1, input phase. I mean, phase 2 has input in also, but okay, so we don't need you anymore. We don't need you anymore. Okay, so now we're going to phase 2, move the crates around. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make my own. So it's a common mistake for new programmers to like try and solve everything all at once. If I was doing this on like a timed competition thing, I know they have leaderboards on the Advent of Code, and some people solve this within like half an hour. I wouldn't be taking necessarily all of this time, although I probably would be printing things out, just like I said, to make sure that everything was getting read in properly. So I did make a mistake earlier with that there. But I'm what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time, okay? And I'm going to make my own input file. And this is something that a lot of students in my class, especially, which is not something I'm proud of, don't know how to do. Which is make their own input file. They use my input tester. It's already open. That is true. It is open. All right, let's go to you. And I am just going to delete all of it after that. So I might even delete more, but I might even just start with 1. Let's just start with 1. Okay. So we'll print it before, we'll print it after, and just see if we are successfully moving things over the way that we're supposed to. And remember that when you move the things, see, when I first read this, I thought we'd be grabbing, like the crane would grab 8 of them and move them. But instead, the crane moves 1 box at a time, so it stacks everything up inverted. Grab 8 from 7 to 1. And so we're going to have an issue here with an off by 1 error, because our vector is starting at index 0. And so column 1 is actually column 0 in our indices. So I'm going to have to negate that off by 1 error by just subtracting 1 from those, but not subtracting 1 from that. That's how many crates move. So, okay, so we'll just try this. See if we can get it to work. All right. So what we can do is just, I guess we can just do a get line and see out the get line. We're getting the right move. Okay, move 8 from 7 to 1. Okay. So all we care about, we don't care about the move. The move doesn't matter. And we don't care about the from. So all we really care about is the 3 integers. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Int amount is equal to read from ends. And I'm going to read a integer. And then the from, and then the 2. So it's from 2. Okay, so it's move an amount from a column to a column. Okay. And the read lib has a really nice feature of like discarding everything that isn't an integer. So you just very quickly do things like this where you just like, I don't care about the move, I don't care about the from. Those are words, those are not integers, and it will just discard them, hopefully. Let's see if this works. So, see out, note, from, into, again, let's work on it a little bit at a time. 8, 7, and 1. Okay. Is that right? Yes. Okay, now we need to subtract 1 off of that because these are the count for off by 1 error. And always document when you do something sneaky like that. Our vectors start at 0, not 1. And so we should have 8, 6, 0. Good. Okay. So our crate here. So our crate here is called 1, but we're actually going to be in our code. It's column 0 or stack 0, whatever you want to call it. Okay. All right. Then all of this needs to be in a loop while true, while true loop. And if not things break. That works still good. And then slap down. Quick duplicate of that. Run it again. Good. From 2 to 2. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, students need to be able to develop their own little input files like this. Like, throw away like these big 1,000-line things. Just make 1 or 2 lines. You know, something really simple like that. Save it. Run it. You can see 2 from 1 to 1 because that's column 1 in our index system. Once you're confident it works with the smaller ones, and you kind of scale it up a little bit. Look at it, make sure it works, test everything, test the edge cases, make sure you move from each of the edges, the 1, the 9. What happens if you try and move too much? That's something we'll probably need to think about, but whatever. All right, now, let's get a move working. So we've got our command, we're gonna move this number of blocks from this column to this column, and so what we're gonna do is, okay, so print I equals 0, I is less than amount, I plus plus. So if we're moving 8 boxes, we're going to do this 8 times. Char C is equal to vector dot back. Vector dot back is the last element in the vector, and that's wrong. Vector dot. Which column are we moving from? Vector dot from dot back. So if we're moving from stack 3, then we're going to get the very top element, the very top crate of column 3, and that'll be that guy. And then we're going to push it onto the other guy. So we will say vector dot at 2 dot push back C. And so we can move things from one to the other. This is going to throw an exception. Oh, no, we have to pop back too. It's going to throw an exception if you have an empty stack, and I don't know if their input, I don't know what it, I don't think the directions say anything about that actually. Like, what happens if Let's see it. Let's see it. We'll see if it throws. If it throws, we can handle it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So we grab that. We say vector.at from.top back. Delete top crate. Get the value of the top crate from column. Delete the top crate from column. And maybe should have had a better variable name there. And then add that crate to the column. I think we're done. Actually, maybe. Let's see how this goes. So let's grab our print stacks, and we'll just print it each time around. So we'll just kind of keep our eye on the stacks, and so we'll compile it, and we're printing out. Move. I'm just gonna put the words back in from to human readable. I'm actually putting the words back into that. Okay. All right. So there is our initial stack. HCR is there. Move 8 from 6 to 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Snivzbipl is going to be moved to 0, and so the L gets moved first. So it's HCRL. W, P, B, Z, V, and S. And so the very bottom one before is now the top one because it has to move one crate at a time. And then we have a blank stack there, so that was handled properly. And then move 2 from 1 to 1. Okay, so this is the before. I should probably break that up. Okay. Before. And then I guess we just do an after, why not? It's going to be a little bit redundant, but this is all going to get deleted in just a second anyway, because I'm pretty sure this is working. Okay, so what do we got here? Before that, after that. Okay, move 2 from 1 to 1. Okay, so, that's an interesting question. What happens if you move 2 from, I think it doesn't do anything, right? Because it picks it up. Move 2 from 1 to 1. So before was this, and then after was this. Yeah, shouldn't do anything. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. I think we got this. Let's slap down a couple more. Let's move 1 from 2 to 1. Let's move 2 from. That's gonna segfault. Let's move 1 from 2 to 3. It's not gonna segfault. It's gonna throw. Let's move 3 from 6. 1 from 9 to 8. So let's run it. And I don't know what's going on anymore. All right. For top. It's all blending together. I gotta take a look at the bottom one. All right, move 1 from 8 to 7. So before 1. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that one, and then afterwards the LDRP. The F goes on to here. I think it's working. So I'm just going to move input 2 back into input, then main.cc. The big question is whether or not they're going to move any empty stacks or anything like that. If it does, we're going to be coming right back in here and start debugging. But let's just see how this goes. And then after the code is done, we will print stacks out. And there we go. So that is column 0. And what do we do here? 1. Okay. Let's just try this. CSHQWSRBDL. And we got it right. Okay, cool. No, that wasn't that bad. Part 2. I was ready for it to, like, you know, try moving crates that weren't there, but this is Advent of Code. They don't really throw you too many curveballs, I guess. As you watch the crate operator expertly arrange crates, you notice the process is not following your prediction. Some mud was covering the writing on the side of the crane, and you quickly realize it's not a Crane Mover 9000. It's a Crate Mover 9001. The Crate Mover 9001 is notable for many new and exciting features: air conditioning, leather seats, extra cup holder, and the ability to pick up. Yeah, okay. So that's exactly how I thought it was going to be originally. So you can actually move all of them, but not reversing them. Okay. And actually moving the 3 crates from stack 1 to stack 3 means that these 3 moved crates stay in the same order. Yep. So moving 3 crates from stack 1 to stack 3 means you get D and Z. Yeah, that's actually how I was assuming it was going to be originally. You just grab 3 of them and move them. Resulting in the new configuration. Next, both crates are moved from stack 2 to stack 1, so it's in the same order. Single crate gets moved from stack 1 to stack 2, so let's see. Okay, I think we can probably do this like very quickly. So what we're doing right here is we are moving them one at a time, and so what we need to do is just move. Actually, the cheap way of doing this is we can push them all into a. We can just do this twice. We can push all this into a temporary vector and then push it back into the destination, which is super lazy, but whatever. Okay, so we'll make a vector of characters named temp, and it's empty. And so what we're going to do is, instead of putting it directly into the target thing, we're going to actually copy. What is this? 4 lines or something like that. No, this is the curly brace. So instead of copying 1 crate at a time from directly into the 2, we're going to move it into temp. And then for the second part, instead of moving it from, we move it from temp. And actually, we don't even need to pop back because temp's going to go away. So we will just do this. Oh, no, we do need to pop it. Damn it. Okay, temp.popback and temp.back. Okay. Now, the reason why this is going to work is we're going to, if we have like DCA, it's going to put D, then C, then A on top. It'll be upside down, but then when we copy it back over into the destination, it'll flip them right side up again. There's a better way of doing this that you can use ranges to copy things from one vector to another, but this is funny and lazy. So should I even bother testing it? I feel very confident this will work. Let me look at this. To temp. So if it was DCA, it's now ACD, and then we're going to copy it from A to C to D. So it'll be in the right order. I'm going to try running this. And if it doesn't work, if I get my first wrong answer off of Advent Code, then I will debug it. But all right, so what do we got here? C, and these are different, right? Sure. C, D, T, Q, C, D, T, Q, Z, H, E, R, S, submit. Yeah, okay, easy. So if you do two inverted copies, you get it the right side up. So it's not the fastest solution. It was fast to code, so it's a one shot. So I'm done. So move main.cc. I didn't make a backup of that. Okay. Advent of code into day5.cc. And this part here. do 2 copies for part 2 so that they flip upside down and flip back. And I hope you guys understand what I'm doing there. So yeah, if it's DCA, we copy D, then C, then A, and then we put that into a temporary, and then into the destination we copy A, then C, then D, and it comes out. So it goes DC, DCA, ACD, DCA, 2 flips equals the right setup. And that was it. Like I said, it would be easy to code. This is lazy programmer. 100%. So yeah, that was a fun little one. So the only kind of annoying part is the parsing of this took a little bit of thinking because they didn't really give it a very easy format. So that took a little bit of brain power. It's 4 characters each at least. It would have been worse if they I don't know, didn't have any characters there. I don't know how they do that, but yeah. All right. So there we go. All right. Hope you guys had fun watching this. Maybe learned C++ ranges or how to be a lazy programmer or something. It's 2 o'clock in the morning now. I'm going to sleep. Night.